See, a common misconception is that these are for kids, but they're not. String cheese is the bomb. I'll finish real quick. Or you can go.
Alright, welcome guys back to a YouTube video on my channel, and today I have another special guest. I mean, he's actually already been on this channel once already.
What's poppin'?
Yep, but today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of YouTubers do not talk about, or Shopify YouTubers do not talk about when it comes to Shopify.
Which is string cheese is not for children.
That's one of them. But the next one is really scaling. So a lot of Shopify YouTubers, they tend to focus on the basics and don't really go ahead of, $100 a day. And there's a reason for that. It's because 100%. They haven't done it themselves. And that's a fact.
That's one reason. Some of them haven't even gotten to $100 a day.
Exactly.
Well,
so
I got a few reasons on that, yeah.
So today we're going to just talk about scaling past the $100, scaling past those first few sales, and really, taking it to the next level. And I thought I would have Hayden on along because he does do Facebook ads and really focuses on...
And I make a little bit more than the $100 a day.
Yeah, exactly. And he really focuses on, scaling products, and whether it be through also Instagram and Facebook, like mainly Facebook though, right?
Yeah.
And even with me, do a lot of email marketing back end to really make sure that the product you are scaling makes more money. So, let's just start off by just talking about, I guess, the common misconception about scaling. Because some people might just think, I found a winner, I made some sales, let me just turn on my ads, run 10x my ad budget, right? So go ahead and talk about it.
There's a lot. So first of all, and I'm not going to talk about this until the second point, people run their ads differently.
Yeah.
Okay? You need to know that, first of all. So just because I say something or he says something or anybody else says something, that doesn't mean that what someone else from that person said is incorrect. You got to do your research and figure that out on that person. But the first thing I want to talk about is why people don't talk about it on YouTube. I'm going to give you the biggest reason, because this is free. First of all, okay, as well as we need to appeal to the masses. So as a YouTuber, as well as myself, like as someone who puts out content, you want to get views. Now, I've strayed away from that now. You've seen me make videos on stuff that's like very specific, where it's like talking about like, negative situations and positive outcome, where I get like no views. I don't do those videos for the views, because I don't care as much now. But the reason a lot of people do that and they just try to get views is because, it makes them more money.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. And the problem is people expect you to put everything on YouTube for free. Where, what if I make an in-depth video and then a beginner watches it, now they're confused, and some people get upset, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time, there's no way in hell that I'm going to give you everything for free. I'll give you about 90 to 95% of it for free. You're going to pay for about the other 9 to 4%, and then the other 1% I keep for myself, or unless you pay me, probably 6 figures. Mm-hmm. So it's really as simple as that, and the different concepts and the higher level stuff changes and evolves. That's just how it works, especially in an internet business where it changes that fast.
Yeah.
So back to the other point about scaling ads and having things being done differently. I do 2 primary marketing platforms, and he knows this. It used to be Instagram influencers, then it transitioned into using those simultaneously, kind of to build into one another, and now it's just primarily Facebook ads, like, by far, just dominated. So when it comes to Facebook specifically, I guess we can start there a little bit more in depth. I run my ads differently than you might, and that's totally fine. So the biggest issue I see a lot of people running into is doing what's called mass mixing. It's kind of like a little term that I coined, is where you're taking 3 different people's things, or however many, and you're trying to kind of mush that into your one strategy. You're going to get conflicting results and probably no results because, maybe if you just stuck to one, it would work.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is just stick to one, and once it's working, start testing on top of that the principles from someone else or another strategy.
Yeah.
So that's been absolutely massive for me, and that's something I really, really stress to everyone I really, go more in depth with coaching on, is like, you just need to do one specific thing. And I'll show them what works. It's completely fine. I'll do that. But they got to be committed to that. So you got to pick one thing.
I think Grant Cardone talks about that a lot. Like, even when I met him, he like that's one thing he stressed out a lot. Whether it be, hey, you are testing out too many strategies, or you have way too many mentors. Focus on one thing, so you can go like deep into that.
And that doesn't mean you don't test. You're testing inside of one strategy.
Yeah.
So like I test all day. That's what I do for a living, pretty much. I'm testing different things beyond just ads, like how to structure my day, be more effective, what we're eating, when we're eating, what we're drinking, when we're drinking. literally everything. LaCroix, LaDroid,
yeah,
literally like everything we're doing. So it's really, really interesting to see that. But reverting back to the ads just with Facebook, you know, the way I'm going to scale, if I get 1 sale or even 3 sales, that doesn't mean I'm just going to scale the ad, even if it's profitable right off the bat with a fresh pixel with no data. That, for me, is not enough information. So there's kind of 2 approaches. First thing, I'm never going to make a final decision based on a light piece of data. Okay, so a light piece of data would be something like VC, which is view content, ATC, add to cart, or IC, initiate checkout. Only ideally based on a purchase. Now, the way I run my ads as I move up through those process and that, you know, that little process, the 4-step process, I consistently look at the next level above. That's what I base my decision off of. Now, I'm also not going to base that off of just one piece of it. So because one ad set inside the campaign gets 1 sale, that doesn't mean I'm just going to like, all right, kill everything else, you know, kill that original ad set, duplicate it, go just on that one. That's 1 sale.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
You
to
need
get
more
one,
data in that for you to actually go ahead
sale.
and commit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was running Facebook ads for 5 months and I got 1 sale in the second month. You remember that when I was first getting started. It's just a lucky sale. You hit someone in that audience, whether it's right away or in a long time, that buys.
Yeah.
You can't make a decision based on that. Now, once your ad actually gets going, I don't consider it matured, which means you can really make a decision and directly scale that ad, not a duplicate, scale the budget on that ad until you have about 30 sales. That just on that one specific ad set, that's matured for me. So that's when I'll actually start scaling the budget on there, which I don't just go from $5 a day to $100. In fact, I don't even run $5 a day ads, you know that.
Yeah.
So working through that process. But when it comes to directly scaling, and this is from a bigger than just Facebook standpoint, you need to just double down on what's working.
Always.
Exactly.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Like, do what's working.
If you're making $100 a day and you're trying to make $200 a day, you literally just, and this is bigger than just e-commerce. If you're making selling, reselling iPhones, sell double the amount of iPhones. It's as simple as that. If you're doing it closing on the phone, call twice as many people. It's really that simple. So that's one thing you can see on the wall there. I know we don't show everything. Simplify life. Everything, you just need to dumb it down. Just simplify everything because people often overcomplicate it. So that's one massive thing that I've learned. And now when it comes to just the advertising standpoint, it is complicated.
Yeah.
But once you learn it, it's not. So if you're an IT person, you know how to take this computer apart and rebuild it from scratch, I would have no idea. I'd be looking at you like you're motherfucking Houdini. But it doesn't matter. For you, it's easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So one thing that, both of us stressed on early on was using Instagram influencers for data and then switching on to Facebook to scale. But we both know that you can still scale on Instagram. And that I have done that, just like scale only on Instagram in the beginning. And that's good, I guess, for Instagram because certain products work better on Instagram and with influencers rather on Facebook because on Facebook sometimes you have to build data and go on from there. But on Instagram, what are some tips you have for scaling? So before we start, I'm just gonna give you, I guess, some of mine.
Yeah.
So it would be, if you're using. So what I always do is test out with smaller influencers because it makes no sense for you to go ahead and spend $200 to $500 just to test products on one product on an influencer, right?
Yeah.
So
especially if you don't even know if the product itself is a winner, not even just that page.
Exactly, right? So that's what So first, I would test it out with a smaller page, a smaller budget, one product, and if I see it getting sales, then I move up the following and then the higher budget.
Now, to jump in here real quick, because I know some people are going to be confused about this. Let's say you have no data, you have a brand new product you think will sell, you run one smaller influencer and it doesn't work. Whose fault was it, the product or the influencer?
Product.
Interesting. Yeah, I usually and I'll talk about it after you finish in a sec. I usually let it run to 2 different influencers.
That makes some more sense.
To verify that.
But also it's like at a point where some people, you got to be smart with it because I'm very specific with how I pick my influencers too because some people just do randomly, right? But me, I'm looking at the engagement rate, the following.
You have experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it is.
But
I know what pages will make me money.
Exactly. And it comes down to just doing your research and knowing. But me and you, we've been doing this for a while, so we know our influencers.
So we use the same ones over and over and over.
Exactly.
Different products. But with Instagram, there's a couple ways you have to look at it. Because for me, this is the reason I don't really do influencers anymore, by the way. I don't not do it because there's not money to be made. I don't do it because it's not exactly worth my time. I'd rather just focus on other things.
Yeah.
So if you're first getting started, and even if you're doing Facebook ads, if influencers are working, do it because you're going to make money. It's worth your time. I don't care if you have to sleep less or skip school, whatever it is. Just do it to make the money. It's as simple as that. But aside from the financial situation, even if you're breaking even, you're stacking data. So you're building data on your Facebook pixel, which even if you're not doing Facebook ads right now, that's going to help you down the road. Your future self, once you learn Facebook, will thank you dearly for that. I wish I was doing that once I was first starting influencers.
I think long term, don't only think, and even with like free plus shipping, we always talk about this. It's usually to build data or acquire a customer, but people will solely focus it on more on, making profit of it, whether it be $4 profit. Like, that's nothing. You got to think long term and really think about the lifetime value, and just think about how, this investment will make you more money in the long term because you're collecting data and not thinking like, oh, I'm at a loss, I got to stop this product,
Yeah, actually, when I'm just directly starting Facebook ads, I'll lose money up front. You have to build the
exactly
actual pixel.
Yeah.
So some people, it's tough for them to come to terms with that, which is why a lot of people immediately just go to influencers, because you can theoretically just make money right away.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you don't have as big of a budget, that might be a safer route.
Definitely.
But with influencers, just understand that you can scale very, very quickly. You can go from never doing anything to, if you know what you're doing, literally running an influencer that'll make you 10 grand in a day. So there can be that scalability, but what's going to happen tomorrow? It's not like Facebook where it's as consistent. Influencers are so volatile.
Oh my!
Which is just another reason why I don't like them. And it doesn't mean you can't make money, but like I prefer consistency. Like, you hear these entrepreneurs, they're like swinging for the wall, throwing it and seeing if it sticks against it, like gung ho with their ads, or even their businesses, like trying to make the next freaking Facebook where they make no money and then just a big payout. I like consistent income. Call me crazy. Maybe I like the regular job structure. I want to know roughly how much I'm making, how much that's growing based on what I'm doing and producing those results.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
My personality type plays into Facebook ads more. Mm-hmm. So that's huge.
So other than marketing, I guess some quick tips that I can give you guys would be really using bundles. Quantity breaks or upsells for when you're scaling. So
upsells are huge.
Yeah,
a lot of people have such a big misconception with free plus shipping that that's what you do to make money. And I make money off that. Yes, I do. To all you people saying it doesn't work anymore or asking, is it dead? It still works just fine. But it's still the same principle as 3 years ago. Free plus shipping should be used to acquire a customer, not to directly just make your money there. You only want to get them in the door. Even if you're losing money, there's companies that are willing to then actually pay and lose money up front because they know the LTV, the lifetime value of that customer.
Yeah.
It's like ClickFunnels. They pay $170. They're actually, their margin, they're able to pay up to $170 to acquire a trial, a free 14-day trial, because they know the lifetime value. So As long as they acquire a customer for a free trial for under $170, they make money. As simple as that. They know their numbers.
Exactly.
And that's why with Facebook, so many people get screwed because they're jumping into a scale audience with so much, tens of millions of people, and there's big brands with bigger budgets competing and outbidding you for that same customer. So it's understanding your lifetime value.
Exactly. That's like a key when it comes to really doing these free plus shipping ads or just any ad that you're using to collect data. Like just looking at the long term, as we said before, rather than the short term, right? Exactly. Instead of being all volatile, you got to be consistent with it. But I just talked about quantity breaks and upsells. Some of the other things you can use to really scale, because you can cross sell them with different items or offer them more of the same item at a discount, so you make more money in the long run. More money because the shipping, you don't have to pay that much shipping, or you get that one customer buying more than once right there, right? Do you have any other tips for scaling when it comes to like non-marketing related things?
Non-marketing related, there's one thing I would have you look at right now if you have any ads running. Go take a double look at your ad copy. I see a lot of people screwing up on that because I can actually outline it here if you guys can even see this. What I do when it comes to ad copy, it's kind of like a 3-step process. So we're just going to waste another sheet on this thing. Who cares? So there's the ad itself. Then there's the ad copy. And this is kind of a separate process. This is the ad itself. And then on here, there's the description. So we'll just put description for that one. So this is like a 3-point process. And a lot of people have their ad copy, whatever it is, their free plus shipping offer. It says free necklace or whatever on the picture. Their ad copy goes and it says something like 25 left. They're using urgency or scarcity, one of the two biases. For 25 left, that's scarcity. And then it's not being portrayed into the description on their Shopify store. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people really screw up here because either this is structured incorrectly, which you have to know how to sell to people, that's psychology, but then building off of it in this 3-step process to make sure it's congruent.
Yeah.
Because in this jump, it's not like, it's the big deal. They're literally leaving wherever they are. If they're on Facebook and they're trying to go to your store, they're leaving whatever platform they were being entertained on. And that's a big big trust barrier. That's like a big deal for them to commit to that.
Yeah.
They're leaving what was having them fun or getting their information, whatever they were doing. So a lot of people don't consider that to be like that big of a deal, but I think it's huge. I follow that with all my ads.
That's like a bias to commitment, consistency, or like a, I think it's in the book Influence, but that's a big thing. That's why you got to make sure that, another thing, this is like a little off topic when it comes to scaling, but even like making sure that the colors are very consistent in your Instagram, Facebook, your website, all of that.
It's called having a theme.
Exactly.
A theme with your brand.
Like think long term, guys, but when it comes to scaling, that is what we think. That is what we think, you should really go ahead and do.
That's just a little bit too. I want to revert back to the beginning on like why people don't talk about it on YouTube, because this is literally the most micro fraction of layer 1.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much more.
There's like hundreds of hours worth of stuff that you would have, like, that's why YouTube, it's a 10-20 minute video. Let's say someone posts an hour video. You still can't go through that much. I don't care how fast you talk. There's a lot that goes into it. So just know that.
Most of the things that we did talk about, I think some of you guys will just go over your head, so you might have to watch this again. Definitely go ahead and do it, or you might have to come back a month or two later
once you're running into that issue.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you will understand what we're talking about.
I'll tell you, I'll give you a practical tip on how to scale to $100 a day that has nothing to do with marketing, ads, Shopify, anything. Go on your YouTube, make a watch later folder titled work or e-commerce, and add this video into a playlist for later that you will then come back to. You can title it like when I have a problem.
Yeah.
And come back to this when you have that problem.
Exactly.
Hello. Like, done. You're welcome. I do that. I literally have multiple on my computer.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thanks, Hayden, for being on this video again.
Of course, brother.
Thank you, bro. Oh,
whatever.
But yeah, we filmed this dope video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys later. Peace.